In my opinion, or my understanding, everyone who is attending is into some sort of practice or some sort of experience or some sort of looking. And you can ask anything in particular if you have any question. Yes, Sabine, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I was looking yesterday, observing, and I realized that I'm still observing from the mind. That the mind is still looking for something known, and that just totally hit me yesterday. And then I sort of felt scared from, okay, this is because the mind is still controlling the known, and yeah, so like, what is it to really surrender? So that was it's that boundary between realizing what's the known and surrendering to the unknown, and that's frightening. And I was wondering if you could.
Frightening to whom?
To to the mind.
That's good, isn't it? Let it be frightening to mind. It's not frightening to you.
True.
Unless you think you are mind.
Well, it's a thin line. Because the mind is so used to having all this control. It is control.
Correct. Yeah.
And I'm seeing it, how it works. I'm able to observe it a lot more because of these classes. And
Good.
but it's really nice, and it comes in it's very sneaky, because when I do something that I don't really like or that I'm afraid of, the mind is like, oh, just observe it, it's fine. And then after I've done it, I'll be like, hey, I did a really good job. I'm like, no, that's not the that's not the way it works, because then you take control, then the mind takes control again.
That is the power of observation, because Sabine, you're attending these regular self-inquiry satsangs and helping you to observe. When you are an observer, then you understand all how the mind acts. It entices you to do something wrong, and when you have done it, then it makes you feel guilty, to repent, and then again it will get you into do something again, similar stupid stuff, and then again guilt about it or feeling sorry. It's all trap, you know.
It is.
But once you start understanding how mind works, how it fools us, you start feeling this gap between yourself and the mind, and mind's activities in form of different type of thoughts and conditioning. And because previously you were not looking things in this way internally, you were going through this roller coaster ride. Now you're looking, and your observation, being an observer, a detached observer, helps you not to get involved in any type of thought for any reason. And when we are not involved, you stay as uninvolved witness, and this uninvolved witness is always peaceful, always in bliss. Whether things happens or not happens, it is that power which has given body and the situation will take care of it. And you stay in your peace. And from here, as an uninvolved witness, though you are not controlling anything, but you are contented and blissful always. You are in the best seat in theater, from where you can see the whole drama unfolding of this mind and things happening and things coming and going. Because you are not entangled in mind, that is the only reason you are happy. Other people only pretend to be happy who are deeply engaged in the mind activity. Then they get kicked out of achievements or goals or desires, and they think that is happiness, because the moment your desire is fulfilled, you come back to this witnessing automatically till the next desire springs up. Then you are again in that restless state. So, anyone living in mind, or where the mind is controlling life, there are only moments of stillness with long goal directed actions in which a person is restless. While in witnessing, you're always at peace and in resting state, and things are happening or not happening. That's the nature of things. This is a big difference. So the person living in the body has disappeared. In a jnani, a person who is a knower, because that is our own projection of the mind, which we think we are. Just it's the mind game only which creates this person, this personality. Because where was this person before coming to the body? It is all conditioning. It's all conditioning of culture, education, people, things, thoughts. Thoughts comes out of all that conditioning. If we have to be free, we have to be free from all conditioning, all types of conditioning. And power of observation is a huge power which you are talking about. And understanding is, it just needs the right understanding, right attitude. So it's good to understand that and not to be fearful, because the fearful is also coming through the mind only. It's a projection of mind as a person, that now I'm in control of mind. Mind can only control ego, and that is the fake sense of a person. It cannot control that witness awareness. That cannot be controlled by anything. Actually, that is the source even of ego, even of mind, and everything what we see. That is the primal source. But you know that only when you stay like that and you don't own mind and body and this thought of I am this body and all these things. This is part of the same game, projecting out from the mind as an ego, and the ego is being controlled by mind, and there is an intellect, and all actions happening through the body. So establish yourself in this pure seeing, and maybe that needs some efforts, paying attention to that observer, and then eventually it becomes natural, because it is natural, it is effortless. Anyone else wants to say something? Yes, Sylvie, go ahead.
Hi, Sanjay.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. I would like to share what I'm doing, and maybe you can let me know whether it's good or not. I understand the witnessing is for good and bad and everything that happens in life. The witness is still the same. It's uninvolved. But this happening in life seems somehow important as well. And what my measure of how I'm doing is this restlessness that you were saying, or the peace. Whatever activity I'm doing, sometimes it's not actually the activity, it could be just the mind, that I become more restless or more peaceful. So I'm trying to go, if the activity or something makes me more peaceful rather than more agitated. And sometimes I can be very busy, but I can be peaceful, relaxed, and okay. And I found with spiritual teaching, sometimes they also makes me agitated. They, oh no, I should be doing this, I should be doing all these things, and it feels like it's the wrong way to go. I don't know, what do you think?
So do you want to share any experience by which you are saying that the spiritual teaching tells you something else, and when you do something else, you feel this guilt, or you feel this is not the right way and you have to not to do, and so you leave the spiritual teaching but you want to do that thing? So can you give an example of what are you talking about?
For example, meditation. Some people say you have to be meditating. So then I have for example, I have an hour free in my day, and I'm thinking to myself, I should be meditating, I should be doing something spiritual, but that makes me agitated, and sometimes it doesn't feel. And if I go for a walk, which doesn't seem spiritual, but it calms me down, and I feel better just with walk. So I don't know whether me selecting the walk instead of meditating for that hour that I have, that is a good option.
I'll tell you, there is a very strong thing in us, very powerful, which is intuitiveness. Sometimes we even if I say we say this thought that I have to sit for 1 hour meditation and I'm going for a walk, that is better. Look, I have to tell you this thing. We think that we are choosing, but actually things just happens. So every day passes in a different way. Sometimes the body is very active. You can accomplish a lot of tasks. Other day you are mostly in bed, and you can plan anything. Yes, go ahead and plan, but the day goes in its own way. Same is with this meditative time, in which now the body is telling you that it wants to have a walk. So it will go for a walk, though you planned for meditation. All these activities with the body, whether you are sitting, whether you're meditating, walking, just everything just happens. The day it is already planned in some other way, which is not in your control in any way. And you have to be open and accepting to whatever comes out. Like, I can just give you a very short example. I don't know how it will go, but I had a meeting today at 1:30, and everything was decided, and the people and everything. But I had a message yesterday from one of the persons attending that he has to attend a funeral at 1:30. That means the meeting needs to be postponed. And before that, I was seeing patients till 12:30, so it can't be before. So then I said, okay, and we said we will do it at 3 p.m. And that place is almost an hour drive to my house where we have to do this satsang. So I said, we will finish at 4 and I should be here by 5. This is just, and then people came, someone was still late, meeting started, meeting finished. After 4, maybe after meeting, talk, and then when I hit the road, it's a heavy traffic, evening time, the road is chock-a-block. And I thought, what will happen? What will happen is that I might have to do it in the car, pull on the side of the road. And then I found the petrol was almost gone, like it was showing red for a while, and I can't go. So maybe the car, I have to pull on the side of the road if there's no petrol. Like these things can happen. So many permutations, combinations before even having this meeting. And somehow everything went perfect. If it has to happen, perfect. But if it has to happen that we have to do satsang and I'm on the side of the road, then also it is perfect. So who decides? That is what I'm saying. So we don't have to get us as in a guilt or in a proud of anything happening or not happening, because things just happens. We have no control. And once you start witnessing, this control freak mind liberates us. Because so many things it will say, oh, do this, do this, do this, do this. You just observe and you see things just happens. Most of the time when we don't interfere with our incessant thought, it is always bliss. It is always bliss. See the difference between someone who is too much into mind. He's planning, I should do this. No, I should do this. No, this is wrong. No, I should have gone there. So many ifs and buts. See if that is still happening with you, or you are just accepting whatever comes. I'll tell you, a meditative person who is very rigid, if someone knocks on the door to catch up, he'll say, no, you go. This is my meditative time. No, I can't do it. Or very ritualistic. No, I only believe in this God. No, don't talk to me about this. No, this is my path. This is the best part. I'm just telling you how the mind can operate in a spiritual seeker, mind can operate in a worldly person. But understand, it is all mind. Mind can be talking in spiritual matters or whatever. Just stay in your heart and trust whatever comes is okay. It is all planned for you. Just take a breath and just relax in your beingness all the time, in all situations. And you will start realizing that you don't need thoughts. You don't need to plan that much. Your planning will drop so much. Something else is already planning. And I'll tell you, this is the secret. When you leave it to that higher power to do everything, it does everything so perfectly that you cannot even plan that perfectly. I'll give you an example. I was learning music lessons from a person, elderly person, very knowledgeable, very humble. But he's never bothered about money. He never asks who is paying, who is not paying, or never. So that means that our responsibility is so much. So we have to make sure that everyone is paying and it's going into his account. And I was trying to make sure everyone pays him. I'm just giving you this example because when a person is not greedy or is not after something, someone else, some other power starts taking care of his all, everything, in a beautiful way. Same is when you don't care about anything personal, something else takes care of you. That is the beauty. Because look, all plants, animal, birds, big animals like elephant is also taken care by that, absolute. Providing food, giving everything, animals, everything happens. There's that power takes care of everything. We can't say that we are taking care. Even sometimes you might be feeding some animal or a bird, but that power through you is feeding that animal or bird because that's the way it has to happen. Same is by people. So we can't give credit to ourselves to help any poor or to help anyone for any reason. That power knows that this person will be helpful to this, and this is the way it arranges things. So there is no role of ego. There is no role of a person. There is no role of a doer in anything, big or small. And this we know not as a fact someone else is telling us. It becomes our truth when we stay in our natural state, which is this pure awareness, which is just watching the show. It has no role to play as an individual. If it has to play a role, it is playing a role in every human being, every animal, plant. Everything has the same awareness. In some things, it manifests more. Like in a stone, it might manifest less. Maybe in plant more, in a bird more, in human being more than others. And also in some human beings, a lot more. Because they have opened that floodgate of that awareness by surrendering their personal ego into it. It is so beautiful. So wherever the energy takes, believe that if it is the energy is taking you to go for a walk, that is the way. Energy is taking you to listen to satsangs, that is the way. Energy is taking you to just sit in silence today, that is the way. That accept that intuitive awareness, it does things, and it does in the most beautiful way. So I agree with you. You know, if that energy is making you to go for a walk, and walk is bliss, and actually I'll tell you one other secret. Whatever thing is creating restlessness in you is not good for you, even if it is meditation. But again, then there is another thing. If you are sitting in meditation and a lot of thoughts are coming intrusive and making upset, then don't identify with that restlessness as you. That is only mind. Your attachment to mind, your identification with mind is making you feel that you are restless, but you are not restless. It is just identification with mind is just restless. So flow in that divine energy, or divine, I should say, divine planning rather than your own planning, and somehow with that awareness, things just flow so smoothly. Even for others, it might not be smooth, but you are internally so peaceful. So that can be our, fine-tuning with that. Like some parties or some people or some situations or some doings by the body, something feels not right. Don't do those things. And that is a very good indication. Like we can call it like our vibes, like you don't feel the right vibes in some stuff, though externally it might look so good, but something, so you get sensitive to those things, I should say, and go with that. So think about that. I think someone raised a hand and then I kept talking. Sorry for that. I think, yeah. Yes, Tanya, go ahead.
Thank you, Sanjay. Yes, that was me. So I just wanted to have some common experience with the other speakers. And just before the beginning of the satsang, I was sort of racing around the house trying to make sure the soup wasn't burning and everything was in order for when the kids get home. And I thought, I was feeling like a bad student in a way. I felt like I'd sort of been meeting new people and doing new things and sort of falling into maybe back into sort of egoistic ways of relating to people. And and then I came into the bedroom and I sat down and I looked up to the Zoom link, and I was just sitting here, before I came in, my heart was racing in my chest. I felt like harried. I had so much I had to do. And but then I sat here. I was looking at your picture. I think it's you sitting on a rock looking out over at a landscape, and it might be Arunachala in the background. And I realised it was like an awakening, all like in 15 seconds. My heart calmed down. I was just sitting quietly. I just felt really beautiful anticipation of these sessions, which I find so beautiful. It was just lovely. And, I just felt so much more rested. But I do also get, like some of the other speakers, occasionally I'll just have a flush of fear come over me that just seems to come from nowhere. But but more recently also a flush of sort of like a feeling of love that seems to come from nowhere. But I take that as progress. Because A, that I'm aware of it, and B, that, it's happening, because if it's fear, it's coming from mind, not, maybe trying to make me feel uncomfortable or retard my progress. I don't know.
So so the thing is that attention is a very big power in a sense that when we pay, because all the time we were paying attention to things happening around us, and so it is something like you still pay attention to things around you, do things and things are happening, but somehow you settle in that awareness, and it is very different than interacting with the ego sense. It is like you have changed your position in this world, or whatever this, from where you are acting. Because here you are not acting, you are more observing than acting. Maybe if the situation is very intense emotionally or something, or tragic, maybe for a moment you might feel like you have slipped into that identity with something. But because you are in that state most of the time, it will be easy for you to pull out from that identity, maybe in a few minutes, or depending on situation, maybe a few hours. And like, some people, we call them, they are always into the mind can take them on a ride anytime for any reason. So this change, gradual, is noticeable by us and by others around us. So it is so beautiful. So that is what I would say. Pay attention to that pure awareness, that witnessing in us, which is so beautiful. And that is meditation. That is what I call as meditation, not just sitting in a room for an hour. You can do that also if you have time. But in every action, you can be a witness. Even talking, you can be a witness to that talk happening through the body, mind complex. And you're witnessing it as you're witnessing other things. I'll tell you, the other meaning of witnessing is not doing anything, not thinking about just this body, not serving purpose for this body, one body, taking everything as one. And that happens when you pay attention to that which actually does not belong to one body, it belongs to everything. It is the substrata on which all the bodies manifest. It is that its nature is like that. This awareness nature is like that. Then when you pay attention, you become that. And when you become that, you get all the innate qualities of that, which is love. Love without reason for everything. And everyone becomes like a family. It's just loving. Loving means that you are not asking anything in return. You just love. It has no conditions attached to it. And there is no purpose for this body. Like a businessman, a shrewd businessman always looks what is for me, what is my profit in it. Here, I would say the only profit is that giving. If you call it giving, because the body which that awareness uses has to just share everything, whether it's wisdom, whatever it is, whatever it can share or it has capability to share. That is such a beautiful feeling. Because what ego does, ego wants to acquire, ego wants to possess. And even in love, it dominates. Like this. Everything is like possessed. So actually, if you see, ego is like something has possessed the body, like, like a ghost has possessed. And then it loves to possess other things. That's it, that is its nature. But moment it disappears, this ghost ego, it is all about giving. Because once these floodgates of your heart opens up, that energy which is infinite, which has found a door to just spread, it just spreads. And no one can control, and no one has you can't even say that you are giving. No, you are only observing. If giving has to happen in some form, it will happen. If for you nothing is happening, for you just you're enjoying your bliss. It is not more of a concept, it is more of a practical, which you know once you know. And it is so loving. Like if you use the term God, you can call it God. And if you call that love for it can lead to poems or songs or praise to that Lord in your heart. And then that being can sing that song in so many different ways, sharing with others, which we call satsang, or can come out in the form of beautiful poetry like Rumi or Kabir. It could be bhajans, it could be anything. It could be creativity in your life, maybe whatever your profession is, or even if you are at home, maybe some sort of creativity can come in any form. Actually, all the creativity, even in that ego, borrows from that awareness only. So some of these very, very intense creative artists, they almost merge into that creation. Some of them you will find are very humble, very down to earth, very loving. That also comes from there. So there might be some effort to start with, but then this whole thing becomes so effortless because it is our natural state. You will notice that sometimes people join satsang and they have a lot of questions, and after a while, they're just enjoying the bliss of satsang. Questions drop. Mind is so silent. So this awareness, take it in a very spacious way, treat yourself as very auspicious and take care of it, because it is the gift of God to all of us. Give utmost importance to it with love, with kindness. And you know what kindness I would say for this? Start accepting things in life as they are. Don't argue. Don't be very opinionated about anything. As if you are in agreement with Lord of the universe, whatever He has given you, you are accepting. I met someone recently who told me this story about his son was engaged, and supposedly the daughter-in-law didn't like the gifts given during engagement, and she returned everything. Next day she said she liked diamonds, not gold or whatever. And he felt insulted. And so that relationship didn't go further, obviously, and they didn't get married anyway. And it gives me a beautiful meaning to a spiritual seeker, that he has given us what we deserve in a way, or maybe he thinks this is the best for us. And we complain, I don't like, it's not good, my life is not good. And he would be thinking, this is the best for you. You don't even deserve this much. I have given you more than what you deserve, and you are complaining. And how unhappy that energy would be, that I've given him everything, and this is the best, and this will help him. But this person has no feeling of gratitude. He's not thankful. Rather than he's complaining. Take everything like this. I'll tell you, this will liberate you in no time. As the day unfolds, see how many times we verbally complained, or we make faces, or we think negative about so many things. Can we start just accepting things as they are and just stay? So many things, so many of our problems will drop, will disappear when we start accepting. It will be like you have completely disengaged mind, Because that is mind does all these things, not the awareness. This is not right, this should be like this, I don't like this. When you start accepting, the mind settles down. The mind is a complaint box or a judgment box. When there is no mind, there is bliss. You have accepted whatever it is. People say that some people are very lucky, they have a good fate, good luck. I would say, I don't know, you just see people superficially. Maybe they are unhappy, we don't know. The only one who has good fate and good luck is the one who is happy with whatever he has or he does not have. When he is outside the domain of mind and he is merged with that absolute, who has given up his personal conditioning to be this or to be that, he just accepts whatever that destiny has brought. Wherever these bodies are in this space and time through which we are interacting, it doesn't make any difference. That current of awareness is same in all of us, eternally, constantly flowing. And this current is carrying all the love, bliss, peace. This is our real connection, all of us. That pure awareness. It has no religion, no name, no form. It's outside conditioning of this dream world. And it is in equal distribution to all beings. This is our real self. This is us in purest form. Always be in this pure awareness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Wish you all well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll meet up next time, okay?